for some of you, you'll see our short film again, but I'd like to introduce it in case this is your first time seeing the short film. And let me tell you why we made it. So, as Judith said, she mentioned all of the members of the organizing committee. We've been working for over a year on this festival, and in September, we had a big blow as a committee, as an organization, as a department, and as a community, because half of the graduate students on the committee are DACA recipients. And so when the Trump administration decided to rescind the DACA program in September, we decided that the best thing that we could do as a film festival that was trying to open new spaces to talk about issues that affect our community and marginalized communities within it, and issues that often don't get the attention they should through the medium of film, the best thing we could do would be to make a short film to play at this festival. And so we did that in a very short amount of time, and we made our deadline, almost not, and I'd like Pete Johnston to come down now so we can talk about this a little bit more in depth. In, I think, early October, I had kind of made the decision that I personally wanted to make this film, but I couldn't make it alone, just like we couldn't do this festival alone. The festival's been a complete team effort, total collaboration, very unusual within academia. This doesn't happen very often, the way that graduate students and professors have collaborated together. I'm very proud of the graduate students who have been involved, and the nature of our working relationship has been fantastic. And the same is true for how we made this film. So I approached Pete not knowing if he would say yes to work on the project and to make the film, because I knew that he was just as busy as I was, and that we really shouldn't be adding something else to a list of things that may or may not be of interest to our institution, but were very important to us and to our community. And thankfully, he said yes right away, without hesitation. And so we had just about 4 or 5 days to shoot before winter break. We picked up one more day on the other end and then edited everything in about 3 weeks, more or less, and finished the night before the festival opened, which was great. So I would like just to offer Pete a chance to talk a little bit about the film before we see it. And then we're very fortunate today that everyone that you see in the film, except for Waffles, the dog, is here today and will also come down and join us. Actually, why don't we just come on down now while Pete starts talking.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Scott's being modest, of course. We finished the film the morning of the festival, truly the morning of. I was just as, sort of devastated and confused as anybody when the Trump administration rescinded the DACA program without a clear picture of where it was going, but I did not have a personal connection to anybody affected by it. So when Scott approached me to ask if I would want to make this film, in spite of everything else going on, I felt like this is a good chance to learn. And I'm really grateful for Scott, first of all, for bringing me on board with the project, but also to Jose and Osvaldo and their families for helping me make that personal connection. And I hope that the film helps those of you who haven't seen it yet make that personal connection if you haven't already. We're just kind of trying to sort of present them without sort of comment, without getting political, but that this is personal. These are people, and this is what it's like to be in limbo during this time. So thanks everybody for coming. This is a smash. I can't believe this festival. Congrats to Scott and the committee and everybody else for pulling this off. I can't believe this is sold out on a Sunday during a snowstorm. This is incredible. Thanks everybody for coming out.
So I'd like to introduce everyone who's up here with us. So starting on my right, Osvaldo Sandoval, Valeria Sandoval, Juana Montoya, Jose Adrian Badillo-Carlos, sorry. I always get it right, I just got nervous. And Brianne Badillo-Carlos also. I promised them that nobody had to speak, but I'm not sure if anybody would like to. Would you like to say anything or let the film speak for itself? Okay. All right, we're in agreement. Okay. I would just like to say one thing. The intention with the film was to break us out of the endless news cycle. The intention is not another important but video kind of report, news report. We wanted to really project a day in the life of people living this situation. I hope you enjoy it and appreciate it, and we'll be on hand afterwards if you'd like to talk about it. Thank you very much. Enjoy the short film, the feature film. Thank you for being here. It's been a wonderful festival. Thanks for all your support.
At the end, you chose to do a still shot.
Sure,
Right.
yeah.
Why? What does that do?
Okay, yeah. Oh,
You know?
take a seat, I guess, yeah. Well, that was a very deliberate choice when we were filming. So some of the other ways that the film took shape happened in the editing process. But I knew that that's how I wanted to end the film, whatever film we ended up making. And then we also shot those initial shots, opening shots, which were individual repetitions of the same technique. So yeah, the idea was, and I think reflects the idea for the whole film, that we wanted whoever was going to see the film to be put in a situation where they have to confront the reality of Osvaldo and Jose. And of course, it's impossible to completely do that. We're not living those experiences, or well, somebody might be actually who's viewing the film, but for people who are not in that situation, there was one way to try to approximate that experience. And also I knew that I wanted whatever we did with the film was to slow down time,
Right.
and to take a pause and to think about people who are affected by policy decisions, how that affects them in their daily lives, and to look at Osvaldo and Jose as individuals, to portray their human dignity, and to not make a film that was going to be kind of a news report that could easily just be mixed up with a lot of other things we're seeing. I wanted it to stand out in that way, so we all were sort of forced to really take a pause and contemplate what this means by looking at a day in a life in 10 minutes. And so that's where that shot came in.
But it was a still in the sense that they were not moving, but people were walking
Well,
Right.
back
yeah.
and forth, so it felt to me like that kind of suspension of uncertainty
Yeah.
and not knowing what's going to happen.
Yep.
Everybody else is going on with their life.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that
Absolutely.
kind of suspension.
Yep, nailed it.
Yep, that was the other part. So I didn't know where we would do that shot exactly. I had the shot in mind, and then when we had a morning to do that, we decided we'd go to the bridge, and then there were all these people walking past, and it was clear that that's exactly what it was gonna look like, and we knew it when we were shooting it.
And it was notable to me that one of the last people who walks through the frame is a woman in a headscarf, right? So another of the targeted
Yeah.
populations right now.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. It's not planned, but that's what happened. Yeah.
Any other places, comments?
What plans do you guys have for this film now?
Well, we just finished it at midnight, so we're showing it every day at the festival, and then we'll recover from the festival, and we'll sit down and figure that out. So we have a few ideas, but we haven't really had time to talk about it yet. So.
What's like a big hope? Like, what would you, if somebody was like, here's your dream for this movie, what would it be? Like,
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
What's your
one,
dream?
one thing we kept sort of thinking about is, do we continue to, between the time when we start it and when we show it, obviously a lot will change, and it has, constantly. So when, do we keep up with that? And we sort of said, no, we'll make this film regardless, and we'll sort of take a step back and we'll just sort of see if there's more to continue with, then that could be another film or continuation of this film or a longer film or something like that. But I mean, in the meantime, I think we want people to see it and just sort of, be able to sort of empathize in some way with this limbo, this point in time.
Yeah. I think the answer is it depends a little bit on how long this limbo phase lasts a little bit and what opportunities present themselves and what we can do in this time that's allowed. So it's a little bit contingent on current events and what's happening in Washington.
Going back to the long static shots, I kind of interpreted those with their duration and their being so static as kind of a longing to stay, rather than any sort of movement whatsoever from where they currently are. Was that also intended, or is that a far off correlation reading?
I love your interpretation. Yeah, I mean, I
like that, this sort of rooted.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has that effect. Absolutely, and I think it works really well with the last lines that Osvaldo speaks also. So that, which we added towards the end, so I mean, it kind of frames the way you see that
Right.
at the end, and that makes total sense, which is great. Yeah. Are there any other questions? Yeah.
A lot of the places that were filmed in there were places on campus that I'm sure we all walk by and see every day. So I thought that was a good way to connect everybody in this room to the people in the film. I just thought that was really cool that we all shared the same experiences there, walking by those memorials and places on campus.
Okay. Do you want to say something, Osvaldo, about the film and the experience? Your
That was,
experience?
a lot of filming for 10 minutes. Yeah. No, I mean, because I'm not, I don't know how it works. I'm not in film studies, and but yeah, it was a good experience. We just wanted to share our experience. Yeah, I mean, it's just one example. I mean, we're only 2 out of almost 800,000 people in our situation, and just the whole immigration system that is affecting. This is just a couple of cases that's out of millions. I mean, not only how the Latino immigrant population is being affected, but the whole world at large, especially right now. So yeah, but I mean, I don't know. We have to let our voices be heard, and try to create some type of awareness within our communities. Yeah, here we are.
And the number 800,000 is kind of, it's like, so how should I feel about that?
Yeah.
But the individual stories, I think, have a much greater impact because you can understand kind of how do you multiply that by 800,000?
Yeah, we wanted to get away from just thinking about numbers and statistics and people as political pawns in a game that
That's the game.
Exactly.
To make them
Yeah,
political
yeah,
pawns.
right. Yeah, we wanted to go to the other end of that.